Nithyananda Paramashivam. We welcome all of you with our love and respect. Sri Kailasa is the only Hindu nation in the world created by Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Nithyananda Paramashivam. The purpose of Sri Kailasa is to become a model nation where Hindu governance, economy, philosophia, political system, education, law and order, trade, environment, and entertainment are implemented according to the purest interpretation of the Vegadamic scriptures under the auspices and guidance of Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Hinduism words is the first ever Hindu democracy system in the modern world, conducting the first ever global general election, a referendum of issues that matter to practicing and living Hindus worldwide. For time immemorial, the question of whether non-vegetarian food is allowed to be consumed by Hindus and to be offered to Hindu deities during rituals has been a matter of debate among Hindus worldwide, with varying opinions and references. Sri Kailasa's Hinduism Votes is an initiative to bring facts based on recent science and authentic references from the Vedagamas and offer them to Hindus worldwide so that they can make their own informed decisions. Vested interests spread false information to further their agenda and political and economic endeavors. It is important to arrive at conclusions based on facts and authentic scriptural references, litmus tested against experiences of living incarnations. The issue of vegetarianism is to be addressed at multiple fronts. To add to the subject, the multifacets of vegetarianism, and give more insight from facts and references, I'll invite Sri Sundareswarananda Maharaj to join us and give his insight about vegetarianism as a choice. Nithyananda Maharaj.
Yes, thank you very much, Swami. Nithyanandam, everybody. I want to take this opportunity to share with every one of you about the vegetarianism. Yesterday, I shared an angle of spirituality. Now, I would like to take this chance and opportunity to share with every one of you, even environmentally, how the non-vegetarianism is a very big threat, not just in the human level, but to the entire planet Earth itself. There was a very recent survey that was published in the National Geographic channel, and it says that eating meat has dire consequences for the planet, because to feed the global population and to curtail the climate change, scientists say we need to radically change our food systems. At this point in time, when we are all looking at enjoying our day, eating meat, eating non-veg, making all kinds of dishes, all of this, we are only looking at our own benefits, our own livelihood. But as per the reports that are published by the National Geographic, it says if we have to feed the world by 2055, then 55%, please listen, we have to cut down the entire meat industry by at least 55%. This was a group of study. This was a study that was conducted by some of the leading scientists, about 30 scientists from all around the world, who've been adepts and who've been studying nutrition or food policy. And together, this group of scientists have decided to find out what is the model diet based on which the entire humanity can function so it can sustain, rather than depleting the environmental resources in all kinds of ways, how we can sustain it. Because the amount of grass or the fodder that needs to be grown to feed the animals and then eat the meat of the animals, that same amount of land can feed. If, for example, there is a certain amount of land that can feed one single animal, the same amount of land can feed at least 10 human beings. So understand, just by becoming a vegetarian, you are not only giving yourself the powerfulness, or you're not only making yourself healthy, but giving the planet Earth a chance to revive and survive. Especially now, with the entire COVID-19 that has been up, we have seen the devastating effects of it on our environment. And if we don't do this at this point in time, you will see that we are leading towards a life of destruction. Even small increases in the consumption of red meat or the dairy foods would make this goal difficult or literally impossible to achieve. So that is the reason we have to really work towards changing it into a vegetarian lifestyle. And it is in every one of our own hands that we need to be able to do this for us to have a sustainable environment. Leaving apart the climate changes, leaving apart the various other destructions that are happening, this by itself is a very big threat. And I wanted to share this part, the environmental reason, for every one of us. If not, we will be in dire straits if there is no action taken. This are the direct words, says Franzo, who's one of the chief scientists who've been published this article. And I now would like to hand it over to Tejaswami to take us through another approach of why we need to be vegetarian.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for that wonderful insight. The aspect that I would like to address is the one of pandemic prevention. Now, we are in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic, a global pandemic that has completely altered, made our lives upside down in all aspects. Economically, the whole world has come to a standstill. We are all isolated. We don't know exactly when or where the pandemic will spread. Governments take drastic measures to curtail the pandemic, still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work in large quantities, in large sums of data. So while the world is still grappling with this current situation, we have to look at the origins of such pandemics. A group of British doctors has backed for a call to end factory farming to prevent future pandemics like COVID-19, the one that we are going through right now. The discovery of a new strain flu potential, which is very disturbing to hear. The link between eating meat and global health is becoming more common in the discussion about how global health crises are prevented in the future. Evidence of infections in people who worked in abattoirs and the pig farming industry found that this new flu strain, now known as G4EA H1N1, has been common in workers in China since 2016. Researchers are now concerned that this virus could mutate to easily spread from person to person, causing a global outbreak. Professor James Wood, head of the Department of Veterinary Medicine at the University of Cambridge, recently said that this comes as a salutary reminder about farmed animals as a source for viruses with the potential to cause a pandemic. The human experience with epidemic infectious diseases is actually nothing new. It can be traced to the beginning of animal husbandry about 10,000 years ago. While humans hunted for thousands of years before, domestication of livestock meant much closer contact with animals and their diseases. And this is the crux of the entire research. They say every known epidemic disease to plague humans originated in animals. Every epidemic disease known to plague humans originated in animals. These diseases that originate in animals are called zoonotic diseases, which span through history. The rinderpest virus of cattle gave us measles. Domesticated pigs gave us whooping cough. Domesticated ducks produced influenza, and chickens hatched typhoid fever. These disease agents are microparasites. Bacteria are viruses that reproduce in the animal host. The host releases the next generation of the diseases to infect a new individual. As is true of parasites in general, these agents co-evolve with their hosts so as to rarely kill them. A parasite that kills its host population is soon without its next food. Such is the balance of nature. When a human encounters a virus it hasn't co-evolved with, however, the human has little defense against it. That's why thousands of people are presently dying of coronavirus, a disease that most likely originated in bats, jumped to another mammal, and eventually to us. The next big epidemic lurks around the corner, awaiting a novel zoonotic disease to jump from animal to human. This is reason for all of us to stop and take attention. The most recent epidemics originated from two sources: industrialized animal farming operations and deforestation. I hope this has given further information and facts to make an informed choice about our food habits, and also how we interact spiritually with the deities, how or what food that we offer to deities in all our Hindu rituals, and how Hinduism can support the kind of lifestyle, the food habit, which evolves with the flow of nature, the flow of life. We thank you for joining us for this segment. It is now time to prepare ourselves to sit in Upanishad with Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let us sit in Padmasana as much as possible, sitting straight with our back of the neck and head in a straight line. Closing your eyes and chanting intensely the Mahavakya, reverberating fully the whole being, chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.